Shalom, Yasharallah. This your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakach Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here, a couple of different articles real fast. I'm going to briefly read over this real quick, but it's just showing the fact of the times that we're living in, all right? You're actually living in a time and you're able to visually see the downfall of your enemy as we speak right now, today, tomorrow, yesterday, last week, last year. You're living in these times right now, If you have the eyes to see, hey, man, your enemy is dying off right in front of you, all right? I'm going to pull out two articles. I'm only read a little bit in this here article. I'm going to go and read through another article, but it's going to show forth this, all right? It's going to show forth exactly who these curses are falling upon, all right? There's a lot of people that think that, the Edomites, they're confused about who the Edomites are. They say that I guess maybe the Saudi Arabians or some shit, they try to say the Saudi Arabians are Esau, but that's not true, all right? Because, it's just like them saying that they are the so-called Jews, But nevertheless, we know that we are the Israelites according to the prophecies, all right? The prophecies show forth that, the Spirit bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High, all right? But nevertheless, the Spirit is also bearing witness with the spirit of the prophecies that Esau, or the so-called white man, is Esau Edom, all right, that the Bible speaks about according to the prophecies, all right? Well, we're going to get into the prophecies about how he's going to get cut off, all right? But you're also seeing these curses falling upon him. All right, so like I said, I'm going to briefly read through this here article real quick. It says the fastest shrinking countries on earth are in Eastern Europe, all right? Now, hey, just pull out the so-called word Eastern there, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, really, this is pretty much where all these Edomites are anyway. But nevertheless, it says the fastest shrinking countries. All right, Esau is shrinking fast right now, all right? So it says Eastern Europe is projected to shrink dramatically over the next few decades, what's worse, most countries are refusing to consider one solution to slow down the incoming demographic disaster, all right? Because this is their pride. They keep going, They don't want to listen to whatnot. You got a person out here with a spending habit, and they over here constantly charging up on their credit card, and you be like, yo, man, calm down, just chill out, man. Like, you literally just left this one store, like a gas station. You charged up $100 at the gas station, literally drove a block down the street or right across the street to another gas station and charged up again. You just spending just to spend, So now your friend is telling you, like, yo, man, you need to chill with that spending habit. You getting a little out of hand. But then now you want to sit there and be like, oh, no, I'm straight. And you keep spending, and eventually, and you don't got no job. You can't pay this back. All right, but now you coming into that, your due date's coming. It's like, yeah, this shit's finna collapse, bro. But this is the same thing that's going on with Esau Edom. All right, it says the top 10 countries with the fastest shrinking populations are all in Eastern Europe, with a few in Central and Northern Europe, according to the UN projections. Bulgaria, Latvia, Moldova, Ukraine, Croatia, not Croatia, but Croatia, Lithuania, Romania, Serbia, Poland, Hungary are estimated to see their population shrink by 15% or more by 2050. All right, and Lord's will, we won't be around at 2050. All right, the Lord's going to dramatically speed this up with the things that's coming on Esau Edom. Right now, they just dying off from suicides, drug overdoses, and things like that. All right, that's not necessarily that people just rolling up on them and blowing Edomites' heads off. That's not the case. All right, and this is another beautiful thing, man. You ain't got to lift up a finger, break a sweat. You ain't even got to get in an argument with these goddamn Edomites, and they over here dropping like flies, bro. This is a beautiful thing that these goddamn Edomites are dropping like flies left and right, and you ain't got to do shit about it, man. All right? So just roughly reading through some of these things here, it says through the countries, and, the little graph says in 2017, 2050, and the percentage change. And these 2017 and 2050 is counted in millions. So Bulgaria dropped by 23%. Latvia, 22%. Obviously, you can see the chart here, going on down, well, shit, let me just read this real quick. I didn't want to read this whole thing. Hang on. Let me read this first real quick. It says, Sabokta puts his population loss down to 3 factors: failing fertility rates, massive outmigration, and relatively high mortality. Basically, they're not having babies. If they are having babies, they actually dying off. All right, and then basically because of these wars that they got going on, they over here fucking invading and bombing these countries and shit. The people that's in those countries are pretty much leaving those countries and going, migrating over into these European countries, which, if you understand, like the scriptures say, you are who your father is, all they got to do is outbreed these women, And plus, you got these people coming from different types of cultures to where, you know what I'm saying? It's not like they be, they got to sit over here and let the woman choose them. They over there just grabbing and taking whatever they want, Go and be like, yo, I see a damsel over there. That's finna be mine, And so these types of things is going on over there, which is causing a negative population growth for these Edomites over there, all right? Let me go back up. Let me go back up real quick. It says, in Bulgaria, the world's fastest shrinking country, the population is expected to drop from 7 million. All right, now this is another misconception. These goddamn Edomites always talking about, they use the term the minorities, right? And now who they talking about when they say minorities? They're talking about you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They always like to call you minorities. Well, the reality of it is, even when you break down the tribes, each tribe by tribe, we still a minority over these Edomites. You could take any of the goddamn 12 tribes, and they still a majority over the Edomites, all right? Now, when you put all the Israelites together, we, like the scriptures say, we did of the sand of the sea, man. All right, we are actually the majority on the planet Earth, all right? The Israelites, all right? But nevertheless, when you look at these numbers and shit like this, you got entire countries, right? It says in Bulgaria, the world's fastest shrinking country. They losing the population the fastest. Now, let's look at the numbers that they got. The population is expected to drop from 7 million in 2017 to 5.4 million in 2050. 7 million people, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's more than 7 million. Like, yo, do you even understand? First of all, there's like 330-something million people in America. You know how many millions of people live in, like, just, any given state, big or small. Sometimes the smaller states actually have more people. You know what I'm saying? Like, up in New York, I'm pretty sure that goddamn, I'm not really sure about the numbers on New York, but I'm pretty sure they around, like, you got all those people that's living in Bulgaria pretty much can live it all in New York City. You see what I'm saying? Like, now, you trying to tell me, you know what I'm saying, if we just go on the population of these Bulgarians versus, like, Jake in any given state, you'd be like, well, there's more Jakes in this state alone than it is in this whole fucking country of Edomites, all right? So it says, in Latvia, the population is estimated to drop from 1.9 million in 2017 to 1.5 million, all right? Again, another small fucking number. Like, you can go to damn near you can roll a dice, you know what I'm saying, on the map of America, whatever fucking state that your dice land on, right? You can be like, all right, we're going to take all the Jake out of that state alone, and we're going to count them. Matter of fact, we're going to just take one of the tribes, we're going to just take Issachar. There's more Issacharites in this state alone than it is of all these Edomites in this whole country alone. These motherfuckers got their own countries and shit like that, man. But nevertheless, even if you combine all these goddamn countries, these Edomites up, all right, they still have a small population. Even when you go back to slavery times, man, just look at the ratio of the amount of slaves that was on the plantation versus the amount of people that was living on the plantation as far as, like, the Edomites. All right, we always outnumber them, all right? But again, when they always have us confused about who we are, oh, we this, we that, first of all, you got so-called black people that's undetermined on what the hell their nationality is. You have like 100 different so-called black people, and they'll all tell you different so-called nationalities. None of them will really agree with what they are. All right. But then you also have, the tribes don't want to, a lot of the tribes still have that hatred between one another. So, they're like, oh, well, we ain't the same people. You have Ephraim and Issachar, so-called Mexicans and so-called Puerto Ricans banging saying, we ain't, we not even brothers. We ain't, I don't know them niggas, But nevertheless, continuing on, it says, while Moldova, the population is estimated to shrink from 4 million to 3.2 million. All right. So, like, look, let me just add that up real quick. So you got about like 6.7 million people or whatever, whatnot. Again, there's more people. Like, yo, you got more Jakes in one state alone. Let's just add up all the Jakes up in Texas. It's probably more Jakes in Texas alone than it is in all three of these fucking countries. You see what I'm saying? And the beautiful part is they all dying off. You see what I'm saying? They all dying off, right? Now, let me go to this other... Actually, let me go up real quick. Look at these flags here. Some of the same place, but we're going to get into it a little bit more. It says, well, we're going to get into that as well, too. Yeah, all these are pretty much all Edomites. Which countries has the least population growth? Damn. Still, these are all Edomites. And I'm just briefly just reading over these right quick because I'm actually going to go into all of this in the next article. I just wanted to see what else they were saying over here. That's a good one down there. It says the vast majority of countries in the world with the highest fertility rates are in Africa, with Niger topping the list at 7.15 children per woman, followed by Somalia at 6.1. And 9 times out of 10, these are the Israelites that's over there, all right? Because now it's the time where we're starting to populate because the curses are falling off of us. And you see the transition, man. The curses are falling off of us and gradually gripping on the Esau, all right? Now, the last one I wanted to read, the average global birth rate is 18.5 births per 1,000 population 2016. The death rate is at 7.8. All right, so okay, we actually are growing. It says, God, but nevertheless, 9 times out of 10, those are all Jakes that's populating right now. Now, let me go back up to this other article real fast. Let me close all of this shit. Salakia, give me a second. Is that other web page I went to? Or was it this one? Con. All right, it says Wait, we just read this one. Let's go back. Con, this is it. This is the article I wanted to read real quick. It's not very long, but we're going to go through it real fast. It says negative population growth, all right? And look at the picture. The majority of these are Edomites, all right? It says data from the Population Reference Bureau showed in 2006 that there were 20 countries in the world with negative or zero natural population growth expected between 2006 and 2050. And in a lot of these Edomite countries, they're actually paying people to come over to these Edomite countries and impregnate the women, all right? And they're giving them all kind of goddamn welfare benefits like, yo, y'all ain't got to work. And I forgot, one of these countries, they tell you, like, yo, you ain't even got to work. You and your husband ain't got to work for, I believe, up to like 10 years or some crazy shit like that so you can take care of your child. This is how desperate these people are to have children over there. And what's even crazier is they even paying people to come out the country. Like, well, y'all stupid ass motherfuckers, Jake trying to come up and get some money. So Jake ain't got no problem going over there laying seed with all these damn random ass women. But ultimately, they're going to all be Jake, But this is the Most High's will. This is what the prophecies that we've been reading. All right, you seen it come to pass. All right. It says, what does negative natural population growth mean? That means Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right. It's all clear as day, man. All right. It says the negative or zero natural population growth mean that these countries will have more deaths than births, or even number of deaths and births being or an even number of deaths and births. So look at that, man. If you have an even number of deaths and births, right? Let's just say you got a room. This room is going to represent a certain country, right? Now, in this room, you got, let me see. Matter of fact, in this room, you got to do something. You got to have a job, right? Let's say you in this room, you got 10 computers in the room, right? Now, you got to operate these 10 computers or else the world going to goddamn blow up, right? There's a bomb, right? The world going to blow up. So you need these 10 people to control these 10 computers, right? Now, the person can't leave, you know what I'm saying, until they tag out and get their replacement, right? But now with these 10 people in a room, you basically have like, all right, you got more and more, their replacements are starting to quit the job. There was 1 for 1. For each person that was in there, they working 12-hour shifts, right? For each person that was in there, they had their own replacement, right? But now one guy decides to quit the job. So you go from having 10 seats that need to be filled, 10 computers that got to be occupied 24 hours a day. You got a total of 20 employees, right? They on a 12-hour shift, right? But now all of a sudden you got 1 employee that quits. Now you got 19. So now you're putting a strain. Now you got 18. Now you got 17, all the way down to now where you only got 10 employees and 10 computers that got to be operated 24 hours a day. But now these 10 can't even, after those 12 hours are up, there's nobody to replace them. So guess what's going to happen? These computers aren't going to be operated. Then the bomb's going to go off. That's it. That's the same thing that's going on right now. All right. You got basically 10 couples, right, in a room, basically. You know what I'm saying? But then they decided not to have children. All right. So who's going to carry on their so-called legacy to keep populating this here room? All right. This is what's going on. All right. So it says, or even if you have an even situation, like, well, we had, this country's only got 10 people in it. 1 person died this year, but only 1 person was born. All right. You got to have a positive population growth. You got to have like let's say one person died in the country and 2 people was born. That's on a positive growth. You have a population growth rate there, all right? Because you got one person that died, all right, and one person that was born. That's still stagnant. Well, we still even, all right? But now you got that one extra person that was born, all right? So now you actually on an incline. You're growing. It says this negative. Well, let me just read that all over again. It says this negative or zero natural population growth means that these countries will have more deaths than births, or an even number of deaths and births. This figure does not include the effort of immigration or immigration. I'm not quite sure what the hell that is in reference, but nevertheless, 9 times out of 10 is basically just talking about outsiders coming into this here country to fluff up the numbers or try to help populate the country. All right. It says only one of the 20 countries, Austria, was expected to grow between 2006 and 2015 though the rush of immigration from the wars in the Middle East, especially Syria's civil war and Africa in the mid-2010s, could revise those expectations. Like I was saying, like, yeah, y'all might have a population growth, but the Edomite population growth is still declining. Because if you got all these Edomite women over there, right, and they all get pregnant, but they all getting pregnant by, let's just say, Ishmaelites or Hamites or Israelites, the fucking baby's not coming out as Edomites. They're going to come out as either a Hamite. If a Hamite have sex with an Edomite woman, the baby going to come out as a Hamite. If a Ishmaelite have a baby with a Edomite woman, the baby going to come out as a Ishmaelite. If an Israelite have a baby with a Edomite woman, the baby going to come out as a Israelite. All right? You are what your father is. All right? So bringing people from other countries, other nationalities, isn't really doing you no help. You still have the same situation. You have a negative population growth amongst the Edomites. Not necessarily talking about amongst these countries, but amongst the Edomites. All right? It says the country with the highest decrease in natural birth rates was the Ukraine, with a natural decrease of 0.8% each year. The Ukraine was expected to lose 28% of its population between 2006 and 2050, from 46.8 million to 33.4 million by 2050. Like, let's just look at it this way, right? Let's just say hypothetically, which we know that this ain't it, but let's just say hypothetically, all right, the prophecies, none of these things are real. The Lord not coming back to destroy the Edomites, so there's going to be no race wars. Let's just say we decide to have peace on earth today. Everybody get along, hugs and kisses for everybody, right? But this population trend is still going, all right? Hey, it ain't going to be over the next 100 years if we was just to go on in time, all right, and everybody came to peace, everybody was loving everybody, everything was good. We got rid of GMOs, pollution and everything, war and everything. The Edomites would still just fucking die off. You see what I'm saying? And that's just one wave of the things that's hitting them. We ain't even talking about the other prophecies, all right, that talk about how Jacob is going to be in the midst of all these different nations. Jacob is going to render a recompense on Esau. The Most High is going to goddamn send his weapons of indignation to wash Esau's ass up in a flame of a lake of fire. All right, all these extra things is coming to finish off Esau, to turn this shit up. All right, but right now they just dropping like flies as it is. All right, and they not even really having babies like that. So, hey, it's a beautiful day, man. All right, it's a beautiful day. Hey, really, it's a green light on these Edomite bitches, man. Go, hey, oh, you feel bad or whatever. Wouldn't I go and impregnate? I ain't really saying go and impregnate these bitches like that. But, hey, fuck it. They over there sad, not being impregnated. Hey, you having babies with them, they going to be Israelite babies anyway. You know what I'm saying? At least these motherfuckers think that they, we getting a population growth. And as a side note, this is why this big-ass argument over Planned Parenthood or abortions is in the, what you call that shit? The politics right now with the elections and shit like that. The only reason that they talking about abortions and they got the pro-choice, pro-life, they don't really give a fuck about that. Well, they do now because the Edomites we reading it. These Edomites, they not producing enough. They finna die out. They extinct. They already extinct. All right, just by the population growth, they are already extinct at this point in time, man. It's just all we gotta do is watch it play out. It's like you playing Monopoly and shit. And you decided not to really play the game like you were supposed to play the game and watch everything how it's supposed to be going. So you decided to keep going around, pass and go, while everybody else, you playing against one other person. The other person that bought up all the properties on the damn board, right, and put houses and hotels over all the properties on the board. It's like, all right, now we just rolling the dice now. I'm just waiting on you to spend up all your money in your bank, because eventually every move you make, you're going to land on one of my properties. You're going to wind up having to pay out. And before you can go around the whole board once and go past go and collect that $200, you be done ran out of all the money in your bank. So all I got to do is sit back. You know what? I don't even need no more turns. I'm going to just let you keep rolling the fucking dice. All right? Because I know that you're not going to make it around the board before you run out of money. All right? And that's what we watching happen right now, man. All right? It says Russia and Belarus follows close behind with 0.6% natural decrease, and Russia was expected to lose 22% of its population by 2050, which would be a loss of more than 30 million people from 142.3 million in 2006 to 110 million in 2050. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Over, you know, what they saying is over, what, 44 years? 30 million Edomites are just going to wind up just dying off basically of old age. You know what I'm saying? And not be replaced. Yo, the Most High is doing numbers on these goddamn Edomites right now, man. It says Japan was the only non-European country on the list. Think about it. Fuck Japan, right? Just read the rest of the words that was behind that. It says, you know, there was only one that was on the list that was of non-European descent on the list. So all these other people that was on the list is all these Edomites, right? It says Japan was the only non-European country on the list, though China joined it after the list was released and had a lower than replacement birth rate in the mid-2010s. Japan has a 0% natural birth increase and was expected to lose 21% of its population between 2006 and 2050, shrinking from 127 million to a mere 100.6 million in 2050. Now, one of the things that's going on over there in Japan, which is the same thing that's pretty much going on over here in America, all right, but they pretty much way far in advance with this shit is, they got these sex robots, all right, now, and other shit is going on. They overworked, stressed out. They got these sex robots. These women are being hypersexualized and put on these pedestals, whereas the men are just pretty much looked at as like simps or whatever, whatnot. The same thing going on over here in America, right? You got these women up on these pedestals. Men don't really have the financial means of their jobs. These women are being hyper set up on a high, you know, high standards. You got to have a foreign whip. You got to have this kind of bag. You got to take me on vacations every month. We got to have passports, you know, so on and so forth. We got to go see all kind of crazy shit, you know. So the men, these women really aren't getting any kind of real quality men or anything like that, all right? So a lot of these men are turning to what they also have here, virtual reality and augmented reality. That's another thing that they got over in Japan, right? But nevertheless, with that, and you got porn and the internet and fucking social media sites and shit and these dating sites. They got the MGTOW movement, all these different things. So you see this divide between men and women here where they not really you know, trying to get together like that. They just get their rocks off and then calling it a day. However they can get their rocks off, they getting their rocks off, right? And what do you think is happening over here in America, man? All right? You know, they had the little thing going on. Oh, we needed birth control. But now the shit's working too well. You know, all you Edomite bitches doing this and pushing the feminist agenda to go to college. Now look at it. A lot of these Edomite women say, no. I don't want to have children. I want to work on my career. I want to go to college first. Yeah, okay, so you get out of college. Let's just be logical, right? They tell women they have a biological clock when it comes to fertility, right? Men can have babies at any fucking age, basically. As long, pretty much, if they can get hard, they can have babies at any age. You could be an old fucking man still pumping out babies. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, these women, all right, they go to college, and let's just say they get out of high school at like 18. They go to college, let's say, for 4 years, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. They 22 years old, maybe a good college, 6 years, 22, 23, 24. Now you want to go intern, go try to get your foot in the door, some kind of company, whatever, whatnot. You work there for another 4 years. Now you damn near 30. Now you want to start moving up the ladder a little bit, all right? Now you got to try to find some man to settle down with or whatever, whatnot. Now you about 30, 32, 34, 35. It's a lot harder for you to have babies right now, you know? And you've been living alone for so long, it's kind of hard for you to live with somebody else, all right? So now these women trying to have babies at like in their 30s and shit like that. I'm like, yo, dog, it's a little too late for y'all to start having babies now. You know, your body ain't working the same way, you know, and, you know, it's just not going to work out for you that much. And you're going to be a lot tired, you know, and you're not going to want to put down your career to raise a child. And this is what's been going on. This is why you're having this population decrease over here in America. And not just here in America, and all these other countries as well, all right? It says Japan. Oh, we just read that. Was that it? All right. It says a list of countries with negative natural increase. Here's a list of the countries that were expected to have a negative natural increase or zero increase in population between 2006 and 2050. So these countries are expected not to grow, all right, or basically stay stagnant. You know, it's just like you checked your bank account yesterday. You got $20 in your bank account yesterday. You check your bank account next week. You still got that $20 in there. Well, you ain't made no money, but you ain't lost no money either. Well, you ain't lost no money, but you ain't made no money either. You know what I'm saying? You would be hoping that every time you check your bank account, there's more and more money going in there instead of every time you check your bank account, less and less money's in there, right? This is what's going on with them. They starting to see these negative numbers. They got overdraft fees and shit in their bank account, you know? Once you get too many overdraft fees in your bank account, let's say your paycheck is $500, but you done racked up $700-800 in overdraft fees on your debit card. So by the time your goddamn check go into your account, it then went to go pay off the overdraft fees, but you still got overdraft fees and you still got charges coming out. So no matter, you so far behind that every time, you know, you get direct deposit, so you pretty much fucked right now, man. No matter what, you go to work, they're going to deposit the check, but your check is way smaller than the amount of your overdraft fees and the negative impact inside of your bank account. So every time you get a check, yeah, it's going to make the number smaller, but it'll never get to the point. By the time you get your next paycheck, it'll be back over your paycheck net worth anyway. You know, you're getting in $500, you know, and your debt is $700. You know what I'm saying? You pay off the $500 with the direct deposit, but by the time your next paycheck come back in, you back up to the $700 again. You know, so you just keep spending. You ain't really growing nowhere, man. Eventually, you're going to just run out of money, man. All right? So these countries would say, it says Ukraine with a 0.8 natural decrease annually, 28% total population decrease by 2050. Russia is at 22%. Well, shit, I'm not going to read all of these. But as you can see, these are all Edomite countries, all right? And damn near all of them are in the double digits. Damn near all of them. All right? Look at these percentages. Damn near all of them are in double digits. All right, it says 2017, the Population Reference Bureau released a fact sheet showing that the top 5 countries expected to lose population between then and 2050 were China, Japan, Ukraine, Poland, Romania, Thailand, Italy, and South Korea. And I believe it's in the article. But let me just grab some scriptures real quick. You know what I'm saying? We're going to just we're going to just flow through the spirit real quick. I'm going to just grab a couple of scriptures that show forth that these prophecies are taking place as we speak right now. All right. It says Obadiah 1:10. It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. All right. Now let me go up to the top. This is Obadiah 1:1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith Yahweh power concerning Edom. All right. This is being addressed to the so-called white man, the Edomites. All right. Now let me just, let me reverse to, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Everybody hating the so-called white man and calling him out for all his wickedness and everything else like that, you know. So he's not really a big player amongst these other nations anymore, you know. He's just, that's that. It's like how the world look at Cuba, you know. Cuba ain't really shit. You know, who really checking for Cuba? Who really worried about a Cuban threat, you know? Now that's what America's like, because America used to be that bully, but now people ain't really checking for America like that, you know. But this is Obadiah 1:10. It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And this is what we're witnessing the beginning of Esau. You know, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. All right. So Esau is this is the beginning of Esau being cut off. All right. Being cut off forever. All right. Well, not really forever, because Esau's, you know, a lot of these Edomites are going to die off. Pretty much all of them are going to die off between now and when the Lord comes back. All right. Really, only the elites are going to be the only survivors of the Edomites throughout what you know of as Judgment Day. When the Lord comes back, the day of the Lord, you know, only the elites, you know, the Rothschilds and shit like that, the elites of these Edomites, they're going to be the only ones that survive, you know. And this ain't no good news for them. They would have been better off dying in the shit, because they're going to survive and they're going to be taken into chains as the first fruits of slavery. All right. But nevertheless, you know, pretty much all these Edomites are going to be reborn into slavery and served for 1,000 years. Then they're going to be rounded up and eradicated forever. Matter of fact, what was we just said? It was just in Obadiah, right? This is Obadiah 1:18. Well, yeah, this is Obadiah 1:18, because I just mentioned that, you know, because they're going to serve for 1,000 years. All right, then they're going to be fully exterminated. We just read how they was going to be cut off forever, right? Now we're going to read it when they're going to be cut off forever, all right? Obadiah 1:18, it says, the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. So basically saying, you know, Israel, the northern and the southern kingdom, is going to be like, you know, some lighter fluid and some matches, and Esau is going to be that pile of leaves over there, man. Once Jacob strike that goddamn match, Esau gonna go up like a goddamn, pile of leaves and shit, you know? It says, in the house of Jacob shall be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh, the Most High, Yahweh, that's his name. He exists. All right, Yahweh have spoken it, and we are witnessing it right now, man. For those people who don't believe in the Bible, especially these woke, conscious so-called black motherfuckers out there, man. Hey, man, come into the scriptures, man. We ain't even fighting these motherfuckers right now, man. They just dying off because why? Because Yahweh have spoken it, man. All right, he's putting all these things into play, man. This is the will of the Most High taking place right now, man. All right. Let me go from here to Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, and the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. All right. And I will make Mount Seir, which is another name for the Edomites. All right. You know, like they say, Mount Zion for the Israelites, you know, same thing. It says, and I will make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. All right. So what? Well, let me keep going. And I will fill his mountains and with his slain men, and in thy hills and in thy valleys and in all the rivers they shall fall that are slain with the sword. I will make thee a perpetual desolation, and thy city shall not return, and you shall know that I am Yahweh. All right, let me keep going. You know why these goddamn Edomites are getting cut off forever? Verse 10, because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries. What two nations? The northern and the southern kingdoms of Israel, all right? And really, what two countries, all right? The land of Israel and basically the Americas. Because who was over here in the Americas before the goddamn white man came over here, man? Who did he discover that was over here, all right? It was really the northern kingdom, all right? It wasn't nobody else over here but the northern kingdom, man, all right? It says, because I said these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas Yahweh was there, all right? Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh, I will do according to thy, I will do according to thine anger and according to thy envy, which thou hast used out of the hatred against them, and will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. And thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, and I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying they are laid desolate, they are given to us to consume. Well, guess what, Mr. Postman? Today is your motherfucking day. You're going to find out that these scriptures is raining true on your bitch ass, man. You talking about we was laid waste, we desolate, the Israelites consumed, they scattered, they lost. Fuck that. We being raised up in the belly of the beast around this motherfucker, man. And guess what? You fucking Edomites are dropping like flies, man. In the sight of all of Israel right now. All these nations are looking at it, man. And they all reporting on this shit, man. It's a glorious day, man. All right? It's a glorious day in the motherfucking kingdom of Babylon, man. All right? That's the one thing that us Israelites can rejoice at, is our enemies are falling right before our eyes, man. And this God-forsaken goddamn kingdom here, man. Babylon, man. This bitch is crumbling as we speak, man. All right? But continuing on. Yeah. Shit, verse 13, I'm going to just read it all the way out, man. Verse 13, thus with your mouth have you boasted against me. All right, now how did you boast against the Most High? By saying, let me go up a little bit. It says, let me just read verse 12 again. And thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, and I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given to us to consume. Thus with your mouth have you boasted against me, and multiplied your words against me, and I have heard them. Most High said, I heard your bitch ass. But guess what? I'm finna come and tax that ass now, Mr. Postman. All right, 14. It says, thus saith Yahweh power, when the whole earth rejoices, I will make thee desolate. As thou, and the world right now is rejoicing because look, a lot of these nations, these heathen nations, are really acknowledging that we are the Israelites. Man, there's a video of this one chick over in Israel talking about, look, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, we heard that y'all didn't know that y'all was the real children of Israel. We need y'all to wake the fuck up and come back over here. Us Gentiles really need y'all ass, man. All right? And now, hey, what do you think is happening right now? We being raised up. You got these African countries talking about they want to, recompense us and give us some joint citizenship and all kind of crazy shit because of the atrocities that was done. People are starting to recognize the atrocities that Esau has done into us, the Israelites, man. All right? Verse 15. As thou did rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. And thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. All right, you want to laugh and scoff at us because we was all desolate and depleted and all fucked up. Well, guess what, man? We laughing all the way to the goddamn kingdom on your bitch ass, man. All you motherfuckers dropping like flies right now, man. You over here laughing and boasting and scoffing against the Most High, bitch. The Most High reign forever, man. All right, and the children of Israel, we ain't going nowhere, man. We still here enduring in this bitch, man, and we're going to keep going all the way into the kingdom, and we're going to go forever, man. All right, so you keep trying to shoot us down, poison our water, brainwash our children. All right, all these different things is all backfiring on you one way or another, man. It's out of your control, man. This is out of the physical realm, man. We in the spiritual realm right now. This is why the scriptures say, hey, man, let me grab it real quick because I'm going to butcher it. Let me just grab it real quick. Give a quick example of what's going on, man. We in a spiritual warfare right now, man. All right, this is Ephesians 6 and 12. 6 and 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Now, it is a fight between flesh and blood right now, all right? Because why? You know, we dealing with these Edomites, but we not physically touching these motherfuckers right now, man. You don't hear the articles in the newspaper saying, oh, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are killing off the population of the Edomites by droves right now. They losing 20%. No, they saying that they just not fucking enough and they not reproducing like that, man. That's what's going on, man. All right, so it says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. All right, so this is a spiritual warfare that we're fighting. So we got to, you know, take forth our spiritual weapons of warfare, man. All right, let me just get back on it real quick. We're going to go back to the Old Testament, Malachi. Is it Malachi 1 and 4? Nah. Well, shit, I could have read this too. I ain't going to read this one. Fuck it, I'm going to read verse 4. Just to get to the point. Just, you know, because Esau got to know who he is. And he got to know how the Most High feel about him, man. All right, and two-thirds of our people. But our people need to understand how the Most High feel about these goddamn Edomites, man. This is, shit, I'll go to verse 3. And I hated Esau. Let me go to verse 2. I have loved you, saith Yahweh. Salat. It says, I have loved you, saith Yahweh, yet you say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith Yahweh? Yet I loved Jacob and hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons in the wilderness, all right? Ultimately, you know, they're going to be thermonuclear bombed off the face of the earth. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, on this side, it ain't going to come back. But nevertheless, they go into captivity. But nevertheless, that's going to be the ultimate thing. But right now, hey, you starting to see the decline in their population growth, all right? Verse 4, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness and the people of whom Yahweh have indignation forever. All right, these are the people that the Most High hate forever, man. All right, this is what I meant to get. Yep, Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. Oh, man. This is... Well, I'm gonna read let me read verse 3 first, and I'm gonna go back up to the top. This is Malachi 4 and 3. It says, and you shall tread down the wicked, and for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet, in the day that I shall do this, saith Yahweh of hosts. All right, so ultimately, hey man, we're gonna wind up stomping their ass out. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna be using the Most High's battle axe and weapons of war. But right now, we ain't even gotta touch these motherfuckers right now, man. They dropping off by the droves, man. All right, in record-breaking numbers. All right, really at extinction levels, because really, we just keep going, they telling you, if we keep going on to 2050, we already at no return for their ass. But by 2050, man, we could pretty much round up all of them. It'd probably be only 100 million of them, man. And that's what, 1/3 of the population of the United States. All right, but nevertheless, it says Malachi 4 and 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly shall be stubble. All right, this is talking about Judgment Day, especially when America get turned into that lake of fire. All right, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of hosts, and it shall leave them neither root nor branch. All right, now when you got let's say you got a tree outside, right, and you go out there and you cut off the limbs or whatever, whatnot, you know, the tree still kind of is there, you know what I'm saying? But if you go down and you, sometimes you got to go pull out a tree by its roots, you know what I'm saying? Or sometimes, you know, you may go out to a weed or whatever, whatnot, and pull the leaves off or whatever, whatnot. But if you don't pull the whole weed up from the roots up, you know what I'm saying? It's still growing. It's, you know, it can come right back, you know? So Esau's going to be rooted up, you know, ultimately going into, let me grab that real quick. Well, I'll get that too. You know what? Let me grab this first. We're not gonna grab that, but Isaiah 14 and 21 or 22, 21 and 22. Isaiah 14 and 21, it says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will raise up against them, saith Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name, the remnant, and son and nephew, saith Yahweh. So the Most High is about to cut off the male lineage of these Edomites. We don't really give a fuck about the women. Like I said earlier, you know, really if y'all want to, you know, kind of like, I mean, you ain't going to really change the time frame of the Most High. But really, you know, Jake can just start fucking with all these Edomite bitches and start impregnating the fuck out of them. And, you know, That was all before I even came into the truth. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you know what? I'm tired of these white people. I just might need to start impregnating these bitches and, you know, breed their ass out. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, once you come into the truth, you realize you ain't even really got to do all that. But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? Notice how here it said that, you know, prepare slaughter for their children, all right, for the iniquities of their fathers, all right, so that they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities, meaning cutting them all off that they're not going to come back, all right? Now, how does a nation or people come back? How does that genealogy keep going? Through the sperm, all right? So men have sperm. They plant their seeds in different women's gardens, more or less to say, you know what I'm saying? So if you don't got them, you know how Monsanto then took over all the goddamn seeds? That's what the fuck the Most High is finna do to these Edomites, man. Get rid of all their seeds. So it says, verse 22, for I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name. All right, just like, you know, when you get married or whatever, whatnot, you have children, you pass on your last name. You get your father's name or your husband's name, all right? So it says, I'm going to cut off from Babylon the name. So that name ain't going to be passed on from generation to the next generation, meaning the men ain't going to be having no sons, all right, to pass their last name on down to. There ain't going to be no men around. Ain't no Edomite men going to be around to marry these Edomite women for them to procreate, all right? So it says, I will cut off from Babylon the name, the remnant, you know, the people that's left over after this here destruction, the son and nephew. These are all the male seeds. So what? That means they ain't going to be, you know, repopulated. Because really, you can get rid of all the Edomite women, all right, and all the Israelite men on the face of the earth, right? And you only left with the Edomite men and the Israelite woman, all right? If we was only left with that, then you would only have Edomites on the planet earth, because the Edomite man would be populating with the Israelite woman, which you would only get Edomite children out of that. But however, as we see in these demographics, all right, that the Edomites' population growth is dwindling. It's at a negative increase or at a negative increase. But nevertheless, the Most High is also reiterating that he's going to cut off the son, the nephew, and basically the male seed line from the Edomites, all right? Let me go from there to the book of Job. Job 16 or 18. This is Job 18 and verse 16. It says, his roots shall be dried up beneath and above, and his branch shall be cut off. Again, just think of the analogy, man. You got a tree in your yard, right? You keep trimming the leaves off the tree, but the tree's still growing. Every fucking year, the tree keep growing back, right? You got this goddamn pollen tree, and you just going out there pulling off all the leaves on the tree. The tree's still growing, man. But until you cut the tree down, and not only you got to cut the tree down to where it's level on the ground, you still have to go under the ground and pull that root up, because that tree is still liable to grow, because the part that's feeding the tree and the life support of the tree is under the ground, all right, inside the soil, all right? So just like I was just explaining, if there was only Israelite women on the face of the earth and Edomite men on the face of the earth, you would be left with only Edomites, all right? The root, what's deep down in the soil that's keeping this here tree alive, the Edomites alive, is the sperm from the Edomites, all right? The sperm from the so-called white man. That's what's keeping the Edomites on the face of the earth. So what is the Most High going to do? He's going to cut off that sperm line. Where the sperm come from? The male genitalia, right? So where's the male genitalia located? On the male, right? Which males are we talking about? The Edomite males, all right? So all the males are going to be cut off from Esau, Edom. They ain't going to be able to repopulate, man, all right? And you see this going on right now, man. And another thing you see going on right now, man, you seen a lot of so-called interracial couples and things like that. A lot of these Edomite women are getting with Jake men right now, or you know, whether they be northern or southern tribes, all right? It says, verse 16 again, Job 18 and 16, it says, his root shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branch be cut off. His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the streets. He shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. So look, man, you gonna fade just like, you know, almost like Atlantis or Sodom and Gomorrah. These are pretty much, you know, some people would think of it as folklore and fairy tales, you know what I'm saying? Because like, well, I mean, I don't really know if that's actually Sodom and Gomorrah over there. I mean, we ain't never found it. You know, some people think like that. You know why? Because the Most High, well, I ain't gonna say he ultimately erased it off the face of the earth, because the city of Sodom and Gomorrah, or at least Sodom, is still over there. And it's really a big ass city pile. It's a big ass pile of ash. You know, you look like actually big ass buildings, but it was left there as a memorial. But again, you still have some people that seem that they can't find that shit. But nevertheless, just like all these other civilizations that there's no records of, they just been gone forever. All right, that's what's gonna happen to these Edomites, man. All right, but first they got to serve 1,000 years in slavery, and then ultimately, that's why the elites, the Rothschilds, and these motherfuckers is gonna make it through this here destruction in their doomsday bunkers and shit, right? But what, we're gonna go in there and find their ass and chain their ass up, man, and take their food and shit, and take their ass into captivity and breed these motherfuckers to breed their race back. All right, yeah, we're gonna bring the Edomites back, man. We're gonna resurrect the Edomites in the kingdom of heaven for fucking slaves. All right, we're gonna take their ass in slavery in the kingdom of heaven and work their ass for 1,000 years, and then we're gonna bundle them all up and we're gonna burn their asses. We read in the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 18. All right, let me get one more in the book of Job real quick. I might not even read this. This is like a whole chapter though. This is like the whole chapter though. Actually, I'm not going to read the whole chapter. I'm going to just read, we'll read through 11. I'm going to start up here at Job chapter 20, verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumph of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment? Yeah, Esau's about to go down, man. All right, yeah, we think, from our perspective, we think Esau been ruling forever. He gonna rule forever. But nah, he ain't really been ruling that long. All right, well, actually, he's been ruling longer than all these other heathen nations. But nevertheless, Esau about to go down, man. All right, he hit the last of the last moments of his life, man, his rulership. All right, verse 6. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reaching to the clouds, and that's where he's at now. That's why it seemed far off that Esau is about to fall. Yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which see him shall say, where is he? All right, just like the last time you went and took a shit, right? You went and took a shit, and once you flush that piece of shit down the toilet, right? Think about it. Just think about, you know what I'm saying? Do you remember if you actually took a shit last Thursday? You know what I'm saying? Do you remember if you took a shit last Thursday? You probably don't remember. Like, I don't fucking remember if I actually took a shit on last Thursday. You know what I'm saying? Or if you did, can you really describe your shit that you took on last Thursday? Like, well, I mean, I kind of had, like, you know, not to get too graphic, I kind of had the runs or shit was like this or whatever. What, you don't remember none of that shit. Once you take a shit and you flush the goddamn toilet, you don't even think about that shit. You don't think if that shit, you know, made it to where its final destination, if it's, you know, if it's alone by itself or if it's with other piles of shit or if it got integrated, or you don't give a fuck where the shit goes. Once you flush it down the toilet, you don't even think, I can't even think of situations that you try to make an analogy with the shit because don't nobody think about where their shit goes. That's what the so-called white man gonna be like, man. Just like how you don't even think about where the fuck your shit go once you flush the goddamn toilet. You know what I'm saying? That's what the so-called white man gonna be like right now. Well, not right now, but, you know, we coming into these times right now, all right? Verse 7 again, it says, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which see him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a drink. Again, you take a shit, you flush it down the toilet, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you was a little child and you was curious, the first time you ever see the toilet get flushed, you know what I'm saying? The first time you ever took a shit that you could see, you see the toilet get flushed, you might be a little curious. It goes down in the hole. Well, where does the hole lead? Well, I don't fucking know where the hole goes. That's like how Esau gonna be. You're like, well, I guess we'll never know. Just like Esau, man. All right? Verse 7 again, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which see him, which have seen him, shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. He shall be chased away as a vision of the night. You know, like when you're in the bed sleep and like maybe you're having a bad dream or something like that, and you wake up real quick and then you forgot your dream, or you just wake up out of a dream or whatever, whatnot. Maybe you're having a good dream and it's kind of exciting or whatever, whatnot, and your alarm clock goes off, somebody wake you up, and you wake up, kind of check the room, turn off the alarm clock, but then all of a sudden you forgot what you was dreaming about, right? You can't ever figure out what the fuck you was dreaming about. That dream, again, what'd you dream about last Thursday? 2 years ago, what'd you dream about? Unless it was like a real vision, what did you dream about? You know, you can't remember your goddamn dream. Most of your dreams, the majority of your dreams you don't remember anyway. It's really only the visions that's real vivid that you remember, all right? You know, you might remember a dream like the same day or something like that, but trying to remember a dream from a year ago, 2 years ago that wasn't a vision that was really impactful in your life, you're not going to remember that shit, man, all right? That's the same way these Edomites going to be, man. Like, I can't remember what the fuck I dreamed 2 years ago. That shit's long gone. I don't even think about what the fuck happened, man. All right? Same way for these Edomites. Verse 9, the eye which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place be any more behold him. His children, well, exactly, these Edomites ain't going to be here no more forever. They're going to be fully extinct. All right? It says, oh shit, I'll just read this. We'll close it out. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. And we see this all the time, especially like if you've been watching us at camp, and these Edomites roll up. When we was down, I think we was in Sarasota, these Edomites rolled up. I was like, well, I just got one question. Can we buy you guys some pizza? These Edomites, they heard what we was talking about, and they didn't try to challenge what we were saying. They just asked if they could be nice and buy some pizza. Like, no, we ain't trusting our enemy. We already know how y'all are. And we also see How verse 10 says, his children shall seek to please the poor, all right, and his hand shall restore their goods. That's what they try to do, to try to find a place of repentance. But really, you can try and give us all the things that you got, but that's never enough, bro. And you ain't got to give us shit, because guess what? One more precept. Daniel chapter 12, verse... No. Daniel 7 and verse 8, 9. It's a lot. Looking for. Slack. I forgot what I was looking for here. Damn, I was trying to see. Oh, I know what I was grabbing. Verse. Oh, I can read that one too. This is Daniel 7 and 18. But this. That wasn't the one, but Daniel 7 and 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and forever and forever. All right. Oh, here it is. Daniel 7 and 21. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. All right. It's talking about these Edomites. All right. Pushing up against the Israelites, and then, they pretty much winning. All right. But what? Verse 22. Until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given unto the saints of the Most High. All right. And that's what's happening right now. The judgment was given unto the saints, first of all, to go out and prophesy the downfall of the Edomites, first and foremost. And now we actually live in a time where the Most High is actually doing this here work. All right. It says, verse 22, until the Ancient of Days came and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. And what is the saints going to possess inside the kingdom? One more precept, Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1 and 2. I'm going to just go to verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and shall rule over their oppressors. So not only is Esau, Edom dying off like flies, you know what I'm saying? He's ultimately going to go into captivity under the Israelites, and then he's going to be chased out of the world forever and forever and forever. He's going to perish like his own dung. He's going to perish like a bad dream, all right? And so, I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying into the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. A citation and much love for you, I can pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.